For some reason, in the Game Boy Color era particularly, there was this weird fascination in Japan with raising hamsters. Whether due to the whole Tamagotchi thing a few years earlier, or some unprecedented nationwide shortage of actual hamsters, there appeared a crazy number of hamster-raising simulation things. We'd see 4 different hamster clubs, this first Hamster Paradise plus 3 sequels of its own, 2 Hamtaro games, one of which also got a Western release, and something called Hamster Monogatari and Maji Ham Mahu no Shouju, which, based on the title, I can only imagine is either a visual novel or some insane RPG. And that's just the titles in the list beginning with Ham. There are still more throughout the library to add to the 11 titles I just mentioned featuring hamsters. Now, sure, we'd also get dogs and cats ports on GBC, but that number dedicated to the admittedly very cute rodents is a little much, to say the least. And yeah, for the most part, they're all these very casual hamster-raising things that are so laid back and stress-free, I don't even think they really qualify as simulations. Real-life pet care is rarely so chilled. Anyway, you'll start off raising a hamster of your choice through its 4 stages of life. Every 6 in-game days, the hamster will grow from a baby to a child to a young adult to a fully matured adult. Along the way, you'll be looking after them, feeding and watering them, letting them get enough exercise and so on. As well as time, you help your little buddy to grow by teaching it stuff, by playing mini-games and so on to get its various stats up. Once your pet reaches full adulthood, you then play as matchmaker, encouraging it to reproduce. This doesn't always work. Sometimes they'll be too ugly or otherwise undesirable, and you'll lose some of your points from your breeding value, which dictates how many babies you can make. There's a bit of a collection element here as well, in that there are a certain number of different hamsters to collect through breeding, kind of like a Pokédex but without the catching. The overall goal is to give birth to the legendary golden hamster, which, legend has it, will be born once every 1,000 years. It's a bit of a MacGuffin, sure, but I guess having an end goal encourages you to carry on down the generations, rather than just time going on indefinitely. The sound design is unintrusive and pleasant, and it must be said that the sprite work and animation of the hamsters is very good. It looks as cute and cuddly as you'd hope, and the cartoonish anthropomorphism gives some real character. There were 4 of these titles on the Game Boy Color, as I say, each one adding 1 or 2 little elements, and so we'll be coming back to the series a bunch. So I'm not going to go on any more today. There's really very little actual content to explore here anyway. If you've ever played with a Tamagotchi, then basically this is a cuter version of that, with a bit more longevity tacked on. I could pad this review out more if you want, but there are so many of these pet-raising games that we're all likely to get bored of them fairly quickly. Let's just move on before I start talking about library bloat again.